you were going to respond, and you said we'll see. And you went to UMass and you came out and played a complete game tonight against a pretty good team.
Yeah, I'm real pleased. Obviously, this is a really good win for us. I think LaSalle is a terrific basketball team, and that stretch in the second half where we weren't doing a very good job of controlling their offensive thrust, they just ran it down our throat there for a while. Luckily, we got a chance to score some baskets ourselves. I thought Rallier was just spectacular, not only on the jump shooting, but a couple of tip-ins that were just so critical for our maintaining a decent cushion because they were coming after us.
Coach, what did you see from your team during that 18-1 run?
When was it?
To end the first half.
I think we did a good job on the defensive end, but we made some shots, and I'd have to look at the film and give you each possession by possession, but anytime you can put that kind of distance between us and a good team like LaSalle, we were thrilled by that, to come in at the end of the half and be in pretty good shape, but knowing full well that they were going to make a great run to us, for us.
Fran Dunphy goes out at one point there at the end of the first half, and that kind of kick-started the run. How different a team are they when he's not running stuff?
Yeah, I think he's a terrific, terrific basketball player. He's got such a phenomenal feel for the game. We were fortunate to have him be in foul trouble in the first half. There's no question about it. Their guards are tough to play against. It was one of those games, too. John decided to go small, so our bigs were negated a little bit, too. I thought Anthony gave us some really good minutes, as did Jake, but it was really difficult to play the bigs in that second half. So, but certainly Tyreek is he's the straw that stirs that drink.
When Duran did go out and Garland running the offense, it looked like you guys tried to speed him up. But did you, or did they just do that to themselves?
I think it's hard for other guys to then take that role on because Tyreek is such a dominant player for them. And it's hard to try to take Tyreek out of it because he finds a way to make significant impact. He's a phenomenal passer, and he's now developed three-point shooting, which really makes it difficult to guard him. And when the other guys have to run the show, it's just not something that everybody's used to. Same thing with us. If we're a little bit different in that, Khalif has a chance to. He's such a good playmaker too. In addition to being a great scorer, that we're a little bit different. But Tyreek is as good as it gets.
Fran, Scooty gives you 15 and 10, no turnovers in 37 minutes. He just looked like he had a bigger spring in his step, just the way he crashed the boards. How huge was he for you?
Yeah, I thought it was one of his best games, if not his best. Obviously, it would be hard to argue with the Kent State game as well as he shot it, but I think his rebounding, 10 rebounds is where we need him to be because he can do that. 4 of them being offensive. He got us a couple of second chance opportunities. I thought he was terrific tonight. And he did a pretty good job on the defensive end too. I'll be anxious to watch the film later on tonight to see how good we played defensively when we got ourselves the cushion.
Fran, would you tell them tonight or tomorrow, look what happens when you're consistent on the defensive end of the ball?
Well, it's hard to say that right now, Tom, because they shot 18 for 32 in the second half and ran it right down our throat. And that stretch in the first half, but that's who we are. We are consistently inconsistent sometimes. But that's the nature. Each team is so different. Every personality of teams is different. So we need to certainly tighten up our defensive play. I thought we did well in stretches, but there were other times where we've got to get better at it.
Coach, you held Galloway to 4 of 15 from the field. What was your defensive strategy coming in on him?
Try to bother him as much as possible. I thought he went by us a number of times, especially in that first half. We were on our heels, but he can do that to you. He can kind of stand you up defensively and go right by you. I thought he really played well in stretches tonight. He had some open looks. He just didn't make.
Frank, can you talk about how Rallier's game has progressed over 4 years and what it means to you to see him produce like that on this kind of stage?
Well, I mean, he's, as I've said hundreds of times, there's no better kid that I've ever had a chance to coach. And the reality is, if we're going to be a good offensive team, he's going to get mid-range jump shots. That's just the way people are going to guard him. And tonight, he stepped up, and I don't know how many he made. I know he made at least 3 in a row, if not 4. and they just were huge shots for us. It was getting to 9 or 10, and then he, again, let us have a little bit of a cushion. He also did a great job offensive rebounding the ball. He had a couple of tip-ins that were just terrific for us when we were struggling a little bit to score points. I'm going to miss him greatly, not only as a player, but as a human being when he finally leaves Temple.
Yeah, what is the second Big Five title run for you guys?
I think any time that you can be a part of a championship or co-championship in this city is really important, and I think that's the nicest thing that happened to us tonight. Obviously, we win another league game, but we also got a share of a title that is very meaningful to all of the people who have followed the Big Five for so many years. And I compliment John in so many ways where he's really pushed that this year and saying, you know what, if you can be the best team in the city of Philadelphia, you've got a chance to have a tremendous basketball season. And they obviously have. They've had a great year, and we were fortunate to score a few more points than them tonight.
Can you describe what it's like coaching a team that on some nights can look really good, and then on other nights can look really maddeningly? Yeah,
I can. I'm not sure it would be repeatable or printable or videoable. So it gets frustrating at times. But again, no one is perfect, and none of us have all of the answers. And I've been asked that question, what is it about this, and how can you do this? I have plenty of I don't know as an answer for a lot of things. I don't know why we do some of the things that we do, but off of a performance like tonight, for the most part, I thought we were a good basketball team, and we didn't get out of character too much. And I think sometimes that's what happens to us. We sometimes think we're great drivers to the rim when we're better jump shooters. We think that we're better jump shooters when we should be taking the ball to the rim and making a play. And certainly the one constant that all good teams have is being a really good defensive basketball team. We're still working at that. We need still a lot of work to go here. We have 5 games left and a tremendous challenge for ourselves on Sunday. So Charlotte will be ready. We need to be more ready.
Along those lines, you still have, like you said, 5 games left in the A-10 tournament, but a week ago at this time, this had a chance after that Duquesne loss. It kind of could have spun one way or another. 2 nights later, you go and get a big road win, and then tonight, I know there's still time left, but what's changed in that week? Because it could have gone one way, and you guys kind of pulled it back and got control of the season a little bit.
Well, I think if there's one characteristic of this team, and we are inconsistent, and that's troubling. But there's another characteristic, that there is no quit in these guys. We've been in every game that we needed to be in. We've come up a little short on occasion, but we've played some really good teams. We've battled them hard, and there is no quit. So there's a resiliency that I think is also attributable to some of the seniors in our program that really do a good job of stepping up at the right time.
You've had a lot of consistent teams, but there's charms about certain teams like this too, because they're mercurial and they're fun to coach, but they're frustrating. Have you ever had a team like this?
Yeah, I'm not so sure the charm was in my lexicon at this point. They are frustrating, but I like the individuals. Sometimes I'm not all that thrilled with how we play as a team, and it is frustrating. But again, sometimes you don't have a chance to pick and choose. You don't say, okay, well, let's get more consistent, and it works. That's not how it rolls here. You have to live with who you have and how you're playing, and hopefully you can survive and move on. And we survived tonight. We're going to move on to something.
Do you see that as intrinsic to their individual personalities? They are who they are, and you can't change them, or what do you think?
No, I don't. I think it's just one of those interesting things about teams. Sometimes the individuals are as good as you can get, and then but the personality of the team is a little bit frustrating and fractured. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but just they're all over the place sometimes, and they get out of character. But at this point, I'm hoping that we are seeing the light, and we're understanding how good we can be, but we have to be focused every single minute, every single possession.
One last note, this is the 152nd win under Coach Dunphy at Temple. That's now the 4th winningest coach in Temple history. Passed on Casey tonight. Any more questions?